you know, another cancel attempt. You know, like, it's just, bro, it's been a lot. So there's been a narrative that's been being pushed recently that I have made a shift to being alt-right. Now, the reason why this narrative has been put out there is because I disagreed with banning the Sweet Baby Inc. Steam creator group. I'm alt-right. You know, I have a lot of the, you know, the alt-right viewpoints of separating church and state. I totally support abortion with pretty much literally no guidelines. I'm for universal basic income. I was a big supporter of Obama. I mean, I tried to campaign and raise money and actually work for Greenpeace and support Planned Parenthood, you know, like advocate for same-sex marriage. Like, I stood on this, like, I went and I, like, applied to be part of this, like, for myself whenever in 2009, when this shit was not popular. Even then, I was doing it, but I'm alt-right. Because I think that performative, you know, fucking diversity in these games by closet racists that are afraid of being found out is bad. Here's my opinion. If Alyssa wants to find out what I think, she can DM me. My DMs are open. And this is some weird thing how she said that she got a tattoo that says all men are enemies. I'll tell you something. Nobody with a sound mind gets a tattoo that says all men are enemies. I feel bad for her. I really do. I feel bad for a lot of these people. I mean, you got to understand, like, there's something wrong with them. Probably something happened to them in their personal life that we don't know about that fucked up their head. There's something wrong that we don't know about. And I feel bad for her, and I hope she figures it out. And if she wants to, you know, talk about the things that I say, go ahead, right? I mean, that's her freedom of speech. I totally support freedom of speech in any capacity, even the capacities that I disagree with. In fact, I support it in the capacities that I disagree with the most. So I have no problem with that. But if she wants to actually hear about what I actually think, then she's free to DM me and unblock me and DM me. Or not. Just fucking make shit up if you want. It doesn't matter to me. Who gives a fuck? But yeah, people always like to come up with this kind of shit because I try to think for myself. I do as much as I can, and people hate that. I do. I try to come up to conclusions on my own, and I think about it. I don't think about what do people think. I think about what do I think. And sometimes they disagree with that. Sometimes they don't like to hear what I think, and that's okay. I try to come to my own conclusions. It doesn't matter what articles people write about me. Who gives a fuck? You think people are going to stop watching the stream because they read an article? She'd rather create your narrative, which won't be true, to the people that don't like you, and they'll believe it because they've never seen your content and they can't think for themselves. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I mean, people love to cry and get mad about that shit all the time. But at the end of the day, one thing that you can always tell is, like, you know, the Asmongold is always wrong. It's like, is this a bad take or whatever? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's been so many times I can't even think of one of them. For sure. But yeah, why acknowledge it then? I think it's good content, and I think a lot of people, the reason why I acknowledge this kind of stuff is that I think that people need to see that the traditional mainstream gatekeepers of media and technology and communication are no longer powerful. They no longer have any sort of influence. They can't control anything. They've completely lost control. Their opinions, their feelings, their thoughts, their words all mean nothing. And they're like NPCs. And so the reason why I talk about it is because I want to encourage and empower people to realize that they can think for themselves. They can have their own opinions about things. They don't need to be afraid of what some random person on Twitter might think or say about them. At the end of the day, most people in your life are effectively NPCs. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can actually start enjoying your life rather than trying to live it in the context of another person's opinion who doesn't even care about you. And so that's why I talk about it a lot. And of course, obviously, it's somebody who's trying to talk about me. Of course, I'm going to have an opinion about it. Like, fucking course. What do you expect? But at the end of the day, you know, if she's unhappy with things that I say, then I think that she can reach out to me directly. I have no problem, you know, having a conversation with her. It's not a big deal. I don't hate her. I think, honestly, like, if I talked to her, I think she would probably be surprised that You know, like, I don't know if she's seen clips of me, if she's actually watched videos, but most people that actually, like, have a conversation with each other realize that they're not that different. So, yeah, I really don't think it's a big deal. I try not to make enemies, man. I don't need to make enemies with people. It's not a big deal. If I have a disagreement with things, a disagreement with a person, like, I don't really take that personally. Like that fighting cowboy thing, like the other day. Like, it's not a, like, you think I give a fuck about that? Like, that's nothing. Who cares? It's just a fucking video game. People get too in their feelings about everything, and they end up ruining their life over it. It's sad. Does not affect you because you have escape velocity, or are they really powerless? They're really powerless. So basically, the reason why people are powerless is because there's nothing that... So, like, what can a person do? The only way you can truly get canceled, there are two ways you can get canceled for real. Like, we meme it all the time with, like, titles. Asmongold is canceled. My response to getting canceled. Asmongold canceled again. They tried to cancel Asmongold. And by the way, I want to make one thing very clear. If these people could push a button and delete my life, they would do it. If they could cancel me, they would. If they could just, like, push a button and ban my Twitch channel, ban my YouTube channel, they would do it. So just keep that in mind. The reason why, like, they haven't done that is not because they're not trying to do it. It's because they can't. So that's the main reason. Democratically canceled. So the way that people get canceled, there's two ways you get canceled. Number one is if you get deplatformed. If you get deplatformed, you lose your audience, you lose everything, you're gone. You can't make money, you have nowhere to do anything, like, that's it. Sponsorship, you always get more sponsors. There's always going to be a sponsor that's going to take you. There are sponsors on 4chan. There are sponsors on Poll. Okay? Like, there's always going to be sponsors. Now, it might be fleshlights for anime girls, but you are getting a paycheck. And so that's all that matters. And so there's basically that. Nice ponytail. So, can you run out of platforms? Ask Alex Jones. So, either way, like, that's number one. And then this is the second way that a person gets canceled. What's the shift? The shift is whenever I started disagreeing with them. That was the problem. And so, cancel for the real world for something like expose a crime or a serious one? Probably, nah, you don't get canceled for committing crimes. Bro, Chris Brown beat the fuck out of Rihanna. I listened to him on the radio a year ago. How the fuck do you beat the shit out of Rihanna and you're still on the radio? Nobody gives a fuck about a crime. Who cares? The problem is whenever a person breaks their online persona. So, like, for example, if they go and it's like you hear that somebody is like a like, this is like George Not Found. This is why he got canceled from, like, putting his arm around that girl. The reason why he got canceled for that is because he put out a persona as this hyper safe, super PC content creator, good boy that never does anything wrong, and every mentally ill 13-year-old girl can watch him and feel safe. So, like, if you create that personality for yourself and you put that type of content out there, and then guess what? It turns out that you do anything that's even problematic in the slightest, suddenly now you're fucking canceled. So if your community, if you contradict people's perception of you, can be canceled. Does that make sense? What the hell's happening with that idiot? I don't know. Who gives a fuck? But that's just my opinion. Self-inflicted. Yeah, that's what it is. Some creators want to be kid-friendly for the views, to be fair. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Rip Bozo. That's the way it goes. Why do you want to engage with people who are so unhinged they want to attack you because you have a different opinion? Because I view everything that I do on the internet as content and entertainment, and I don't even view this as myself. I'm just a character of a video game, basically. And so, like, if I do this, anything negative that people say about me or anything like that, I just pretty much don't give a fuck about it because it's not really me. And even if it is, who cares? And so, yeah, it's just a show. So if people are gonna get upset about the show, then fuck them. I think that if more people had that viewpoint, they would be happy. Disassociation is wild? Yeah, it is, and it's also healthy. I wish more people had the mindset. It'd be better for them. Too many people get too emotionally invested in the opinions of people that they can't control and ultimately don't even care about in the first place. It's extremely unhealthy. I've done it myself. That's how I know. And I see other streamers do it constantly. I feel really bad for them.
Yes, my lord. Forward. Forward. I shall not falter. Job done.
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar. I used to be a blue
Researchers, I saw this. Oh my god. Somehow, some ducking moron has convinced I don't know, some sort of like organization to pay them money to figure out if on a male-dominated platform women are sexualized more. After they do this study, they're gonna do another study afterwards to check if water is wet. Researchers collected a sample of 1,920 video clips, bro. Imagine it's your job to look at clips of girls and be like, is this hot or not? Like, somebody got paid for this. The sampling process, okay, so this is the actual, like, let's look at the methodology. Because this is what really matters. The researchers collected a sample of 1,920 video clips from Twitch TV. Number one, this is a bad way to do it because that a lot of these sexualized video clips are going to be deleted by streamers, and a lot of sexual streamers don't have video clips either because they want to use that content to get people to go to the OnlyFans. So there's a little bit of a selection bias there. Not a great way to get clips. Anyway, let's move on. These clips are selected based on their popularity within the most frequented categories of the platform. Okay, so that's also kind of problematic or whatever. The sampling process was carried out from September to October 2022, focusing on the top videos within the video game and real life IRL categories, which were further broken down into subcategories like just chatting, ASMR, and pools, hot tubs, and beaches. The results showed a clear gender disparity in self-sexualization. Wow, bro, we were looking for where the hoes are, and we fucking found them. And you writing an article about this? You're getting paid to find this? I could have told you this for free. You go to the section where every girl is making dick-sucking simulators, which is what not half of the ASMR, 95% of the ASMR on Twitch is a dick-sucking simulator. And you think to yourself, damn, well, this is the way that women stream. How dishonest. You look at the top 100 female streamers. You look at the top 20 female streamers. And a lot of these women are not sexualizing themselves. Try it out for yourself sometime. Open up a normal section on Twitch, like Counter-Strike, Apex Legends, World of Warcraft, and just look and see what the women are wearing. A lot of them are not over-sexualizing themselves. I've proved this multiple times. Now, obviously, on Twitch, women are going to be sexualized more because the primary audience on Twitch is men. They're trying to blame men, though. Well, of course it's men's fault that women are sexualizing themselves because they're trying to get men to look at them. Fucking duh. Each live stream was then evaluated based on a combination of factors such as clothing, exposed body parts, focus on the image, posture, and behaviors that implied sexualization. The results showed a clear gender disparity in self-sexualization. Well, of course it did. While the platform boasted a larger number of male streamers overall, female streamers were found to engage in self-sexualization to a much greater extent and intensity. Only 2 male streamers out of the entire sample were categorized as hypersexual, compared to 389 female streamers. I guess they might have watched Tectone whenever he did that black bar thing.
Why the fuck would I get banned for this?
Only 5 streamers out of the entire sample were categorized as sexual, compared to 190 female. We were surprised by the significant difference in the levels of content sexualization based on the gender of the streamers. Nah, this is just like, there's so much wrong with this. Like, you literally go in the section of girls that are using the website to advertise OnlyFans, and you go and be like, wow, there's a lot of sexualization here. You know, I went to Cabela's, I said, God damn, where's the vegan-friendly section? I go to Golden Corral, I said, God damn, everybody here is fat. I go to church, I say, where the fuck are the atheists? I go to Burger King. I'm not even gonna do that one. I won't even do that one. Take it easy. Yeah, it's just, like, what are we talking about? It's nuts. The study findings raise important concerns regarding the pressures and incentives that drive sexualization on a digital platform like Twitch. These patterns of self-sexualization also have potential implications of shaping audiences' attitudes towards gender and sexuality. This is actually true. This part of what they said is true. What's this here? These journals won't accept articles that don't problemize issues so much they teach researchers work backwards on conclusions, aka aka not do science. Well, like, the problem is that if you, like, I can do a study, like, I would always tell people this, right? Is that you can, if I wanted to do something that was against everybody's best interest in the guild, you know what I would do is I would put it for a vote. I would put it up for a vote because I just think people are fucking stupid. You convince people of anything. And it's the same thing with this. Like, you can make a study and take any data that you want, and to the undiscerning eye, you can tell people something that's not really true. But it seems like it is because of limited information. It's like you're shining a flashlight on a piece of a painting, and you're saying this is the whole thing. That's about it. It's incentivized for further research money. Yeah, exactly. So, the intersection of self-objectification with issues such as sexual exploitation and human trafficking underscores the urgent need for platforms and policymakers to address these complex challenges. Shut the fuck up. Number one, the reason why this happens often responds to a patriarchal idea created based on the male ideology. Yeah, no fucking shit, it's patriarchal. Obviously it is. Because you know who likes fucking girls? Mostly dudes do. So, whenever you're making content that's sexual, the audience is men. That's the way it goes. Like, it's like, you know what's crazy to me? It's like people have spent so much time on the internet. It's like a caveman is rediscovering fire. We're rediscovering fire. We're learning once again, hold up, wait a minute. Men are attracted to women, so women create content that appeals to men. Holy shit! What? People are we're rediscovering fire every time. Why do you think that is? I'll tell you why it is. It's because people live in a pacified, placid, flaccid world that is filled with platitudes and euphemisms to make all of life seem like it's a lot nicer and more pleasant than what it really is. And so they live in 4 different levels of a disconnect from reality because they can't deal with reality. These are the people that whenever the DoorDash person rings their doorbell, instead of leaving it at the door, they have to lay down in their bathtub and cry. Like, these people are fucking stupid. And they can't figure out even simple shit like this. They've checked out. Bro, and thank God. I wish they'd stay checked out. Normal, yeah, these people don't even understand how normal society works. So these people have to rediscover fire. Yeah, no fucking shit. Girls are doing it for male attention. What the fuck do you think? If a guy could flop his dick around and have the same thing happen, he would. And also, by the way, there are guys that do that. There are. Absolutely. It's not as common because of the way our culture works, but it is. Our long-term goals for research include deepening our understanding. So how it affects adolescent girls and boys. Now we can work to create more inclusive and healthy online communities. Yeah, so you go and you look. It's just crazy. This study is just the beginning. There's much more to explore in terms of the pornification of culture and its psychological impact on users. I will say that this is fucking true, and Henry Cavill is a G for trying to push back against that shit in movies where they have unnecessary, unneeded, absolutely fucking irrelevant sex scenes that nobody needed. The Hobbit fucking romance with that elf chick and that Hobbit, like the dwarf. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck, like, it doesn't need to be like that. Yeah, it was about The Witcher. I think it was another thing too. I hated that shit. It was cringe, man. It's cringe. I think that there is a pornification of culture, absolutely. But this isn't an example of it. This is just an example of porn. And to be fair, it's not really porn. But they have websites that It's like, you know, you get on the train and then you go to the station, which is the corner. That's the way it works. And so, yeah. Goddamn Halo Series 2. Yeah, who the fuck asked to see Master Chief's ass? I didn't. I did? Well, you're wrong. Okay? You're wrong. Nobody asked. Dedicated to nothing but people streaming in hot tubs. Get switch genders. A majority of not all streamers are. Thank you. At least this person realizes what a massive fucking selection bias this is. Like, this person says, they're like, oh, I wonder if men or women are sexualized more. They go out of their way. And look, it's categorized as sexism. Well, no fucking... No, yeah, it is sexist. Yeah, it is. Because it's dealing with sex. Fucking duh. Of course. These people are rediscovering fire. It's sexism, it's unfair for men? Yeah, that's right. That's the way it is. But that's the way it is. Cry about it. And so these people, this person literally had somebody pay them real money to watch hot tub streams and hot tub clips and ASMR clips, almost 2,000 of them, to come to the fucking brilliant conclusion that, in fact, women sexualize themselves more on these sections than men do. Somebody got paid money for this. So before you think that you can never get a job, you can always find somebody dumber than you are that can piss their money away to try to figure out how to rediscover fire. There's always somebody stupid enough to give you money if you believe in yourself hard enough. Tell men don't sexualize women. Men open up social media. Well, I mean, the thing is that, like, this is the thing. Like, this is like, guys, any guy that doesn't get this should never talk to a girl until he understands it. Women don't like to be sexualized whenever they're not trying to sexualize themselves. Women that are trying to sexualize themselves do not represent all women. So whenever I see, for example, this girl right here, her title is Sexy ASMR. She's trying to sexualize herself. If you go into her stream and you sexualize her and I say she looks hot, I'm not doing anything wrong. But if I go and I'm trying to watch some girl playing video games and the one moment that she gets up to walk away from the camera, I clip it and, you know, title the clip Craigasm or Gyat, guess what? Now I'm being a fucking creep. And if you don't see what the difference between those two fucking things are, you need to stop talking to women until you figure it out. God damn, they need a whole research to come to this conclusion. And you know what's funny to me about this is that there will be some people out there that won't believe it. It's like, these are the people that, like, oh, well, the earth is flat. It's like, well, you know, we figured this out, like Copernicus figured this out back whenever we didn't even have a microwave. Like, this dude didn't have a smartphone. We didn't have a NASA. How did Galileo, Copernicus, all these fucks figure it out hundreds, thousands of years ago? But you still think that? Because you're stupid. You can't convince people that are stupid that they're not stupid. It's no duh. People not privy to Twitch need a science journal to believe it. Well, the problem is that the methodology of the research was bad. And I think it was bad because you look at the most sexualized sections on Twitch and, like, you're not really looking at a norm audience, right? You should decide it based off of a collective of people rather than just looking at an extreme and, like, you're basically going, like, where are all the OnlyFans girls? Well, they're on hot tubs and ASMR, right? Let's fucking be real. And they're also in IRL. So they cherry pick the data? Yeah, they set this up to create this outcome. Now, they would have created it either way, but the similarities would have been a lot more similar. And I think also, like, what the problem with this is that this is incel ammunition. This is like another point on the graph that incels can use and say women are hoes and all they do is sexualize themselves. Look at this article and this research that was done. But, like, the truth is that the research is flawed. The selection bias is obvious to anybody who understands Twitch. And it's and the conclusion that they draw from it is fucking stupid too. So, like, everything about it is stupid, but this is something that, like, again, horseshoe theory, incels and hyperfeminists will be like, oh wow, look at this, because it validates their insane ideas. More gyat and more titty. I think most people just want to be able to watch whatever the hell they want. Like, that's it.
Η paputsια.gr ανακάλυψε τις τελευταίες συλλογές από περισσότερες από
Diablo 4 saved? Is Blizzard finally listening? Hi,
Hello,
guys.
Diablo community. Welcome to another Diablo 4 campfire chat. We have a lot to talk about today. I say that all the time, but I will say that this time we really do. Yeah, we will let the community decide. I promise you, this is a lot though. But my name is my name is Adam Fletcher. I'm the community lead for the Diablo franchise. Of course, I'm joined by a wonderful panel here, plus one other who is off camera and will be jumping in. We have Charles Ben, who's a game designer on Diablo 4, Mr. Joe Shelley, who is the game director of Diablo 4, and Mr. Joe Pipora, who's the associate game director of Diablo 4.
Hello.
And we will be joined by Adam Jackson, who's the lead class designer of Diablo 4.
Okay.
Before we get to the class-specific information that we're going to share today. But I know Joe wanted to jump in, talk a little bit about some of the things we're going to be talking about today, and then we will go through a plethora of changes coming to Diablo 4, and of course, details about the first ever PTR, Public Test Realm, for D4. And for people who don't know, Public Test Realm is kind of like a private server.
I don't know why they need a PTR. If PoE doesn't need a PTR, why do they need a PTR? Like open PTR like this?
Where players can actually end up playing
I don't get why.
Early content.
Because like, I don't want to have a PTR. Like I would prefer to not have a PTR. Now, like I would rather have a PTR than have bad content. But I would rather just not have a PTR.
And test that out and provide feedback to us. So we'll go through all the details on that as well. But Mr. Joe Shelley, want to kick it off?
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, so I want to frame this update. This is Season 4 update. We're going to talk a lot about systems here. And I wanted to do a little bit of framing.
All right, here we go.
When we think about Diablo, right? Diablo is an ARPG. Everybody knows what an ARPG is, right? It's an action role-playing game.
Okay.
But it's such a broad category, right?
Yeah.
You have lots of games that are ARPGs. A game like Hollow Knight, for example, is an ARPG, but it's also a Metroidvania, right? Or a game like Hades, which is an ARPG. It's also a roguelike. Or something like Elden Ring, which is an ARPG. But it's also Souls-like, right?
True.
So when you think about what is Diablo, and what is Diablo 4? You could call it a Diablo-like, sure. But another way to describe it would be as a systems ARPG, right? An SARPG.
I actually, I don't know, I guess that kind of makes sense, but okay.
And so what distinguishes this kind of game from those other games that are in this same space, that are all ARPGs, right?
Good question.
And it's really about when you're making decisions and what the most important decisions you're making are. The most important decisions in a game like this are the decisions you're making before combat, between combat. Decisions you make in combat are important too, but those are the ones that are the most important. Action combat, RPG elements, and systems are all foundational elements of any ARPG. But in a systems ARPG, the systems in particular, including the endgame, itemization, things like crafting, those are what comprise the soul of the game. And they're the lifeblood of a game like Diablo 4, and they don't...
Yeah, that's the problem. It's the systems that are the
just have to be deep, but also lush, prolific, exciting. So as many of you know, we've been designing this update for a while. We're putting it on the PTR because it's important, and it's important to get it right, like Adam was saying. And everything that you'll hear about today is from that S part of the SARPG, the soul of it. Joe, Adam, and Charles are going to take you through the changes, all the changes, in detail. And there are a lot. So sit back, grab a drink, get your React faces ready, and let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it, Joe. So I know...
Our forces are under attack.
I'm not really sure what I'm not entirely. Like, I don't really. So Diablo 4 is an ARPG. We're all on the same page here. Hollow Knight is also true. It's Elden Ring. Okay.
What we want to do first, we kind of have an agenda of items, but one thing we do want to talk about really quickly is about PTR. We do want to get some housekeeping notes and what players can expect from PTR, along with the dates for PTR, so when they can actually jump in. So Season 4 PTR is actually going to start on April 2nd, and it's actually going to run for a week through April 9th. So players will be able to jump into PTR and try everything out that we're about to tell you all about here in this stream.
Okay.
Now, I know
April
a lot of
2nd.
people are probably
Cool.
asking, like, hey, that seems pretty close to the end of Season 3. Is that enough time for you guys to actually react to, you know, the...
No. I know the answer to this already. No. Yeah, no. I think really, I mean, how long did it take for them to fix Renown? I mean, it's not about whether they're going to do it, like...
the feedback that we're going to be getting from PTR. And I will note here that we do plan on actually extending Season 3 for this. So Season 3 is actually going to have a new end date. We're pushing it back a few weeks to ensure that we get all the feedback from this PTR.
So this is the Season 4, guys, is the last chance. This is their last chance. This is their 5th last chance. Oh no. This is the last one, guys. This
And
is
we
it.
apply it to Season 4 to make sure that all these new system changes that we're doing are right and work for the community based off of everyone's feedback. So
Yeah.
Season 3 is now going to end on May 14th. And of course, with that, Season 4 also starts on May 14th.
Great.
So there are some a few different changes coming on for the schedule. So you'll see that in-game message, which actually notes like when the season is actually ending, change today probably with this new date for players, so that again we can make sure that we apply all the feedback from PTR, which starts on April 2nd through April 9th. One other note is that again PTR itself is specifically for PC BattleNet only. So this just allows us to be a little bit more agile on our team. Does this mean that PTR is only going to be PC BattleNet only in the future? No, it doesn't. We are going to try
It's not, so the console version wasn't ready, okay.
to explore other ways of being able to bring PTR
Got it.
when we do have a PTR to
Yep.
players in the future. But for now, this one is PC BattleNet only. So, and we'll have instructions of how to actually get into the public test realm client on Diablo 4 through the PC BattleNet client next week, when we actually have a full blog that will explain kind of all the details of how to do that. Well before, am I starting with like a level 1 character? Am I taking my existing characters? Since PTR itself is a fresh new server, you will actually be starting fresh on PTR, but we do have boosting options available.
That's smart. That's smart. You're able to do both. That's good.
Because we need players to actually jump in and test out some of these features that were obviously in these system changes.
Wait, paid? Wait, what? No, there's no way you have to pay.
Changes that we're doing specifically
There's no
for
way.
PTR. So I think we actually have a slide.
No, they didn't say that. They didn't say, guys. Y'all making shit up. Bro, I was just kidding. Yeah, see, one guy in chat says, "Oh, it's gonna be paid," and everybody else is like, "Wait, what? It's gonna be paid?" And some other guys, "It's gonna be paid, guys." Some other guys, "Wait, did you hear there was gonna be paid?" And then somebody else is like, "Guys, everybody's saying it's gonna be paid. What the fuck?"
You. Speaking of which, I know.
God.
I actually bring the camera back to me, Lucas. Sorry. I've seen a lot of feedback about, hey, you guys have a lot of slides. Sometimes the slides have a lot of information specifically in them that we need to actually showcase, because there might be a lot of details in there. I will say we will have slides today because there's a lot to share, but we also have a live build. So we will actually be going to the live build to showcase some of the changes. just because we know that a lot of players want to see more gameplay or see them in game. So we do have that here today. Okay, now we can go to. So slide. So there will be PTR boosting features available for players that are jumping into PTR. You will be able to boost a character immediately after
Skip a bit of this. So we
100. You will skill points again. Paragon. Fog of War will be complete with all your sorcerer. And you will have that capability there.
If you play the game, all the other extra bonus shit, you're gonna have it. Like all the extra secondary systems are gonna be auto completed. Okay, done.
There are like a few things that will be not present in PTR, but that is like, for example, one of the things is Codex of Power, but we'll explain why here in a minute. There's some more details related to Codex of Power for players to kind of understand why that's not present there. So we will be accepting, of course, feedback for the PTR